It has been said that grandparenting is a gift between people at opposite ends of their journeys. It goes without saying that a lot of love is exchanged on that journey. That is what African grandmothers and Canadian grandmothers are doing together.
The love from my mother, it's unique, it's everlasting. I miss my mom every day and every minute. My mother passed away early this year on the 25th of January. She passed away because she was HIV positive.
We've got to look after the children because that is where our hope lies. If we can prevent our children from being infected and we can look after those that are infected, we would have done the best we can. But then the numbers are swelling. The numbers are becoming bigger. And we have to do something about it.
A caravan is making its way from St. John's, Newfoundland to Victoria, British Columbia, carrying a group of women who live in the shadow of AIDS. And the tour is sponsored by the good folks at the Stephen Lewis Foundation.
Grandmother Regina, and truly to have you here as representatives of the grassroots organizations that we work with, and representatives of your communities, and representatives of the many grandmothers and granddaughters we fund in 15 African countries.
I took this child when she was 9 months old. We had just buried the mother who had 4 other children. And my aunt, who was grandmother in these children, was saying, I haven't got it in me to be able to look after this baby. What is going to happen? And we were all sitting there as cousins and sisters and said we divided the children as if there were some bread to cut slices out of. Then I ended up having to take the 9 months old. The elder child to this one that I adopted was infected, and we buried her at the age of 14 last year, January. But this one, as I always prayed God, that yes, it's not that I'm afraid of looking after an infected child, but can you please save her?
They know what they need, except they cannot get it. And this is the part that I find is very, very sad. And we're trying to help them and do it in our own little way. You know?
From sheer passionate love. That is the second stone, love. The passionate love is what gets you up to go and do whatever you have to do. And as people keep on asking, Auntie, are you tired? I don't know what is tired, because you meet, you every day you meet people who are so warm, so loving, so easy. And now suddenly you say to them, tired. I don't understand how the two can match.
We work towards helping these women, and then suddenly here are 2 of them in our midst, and it makes it all so much more worthwhile, and just it brings it home to us, which is really helpful and exciting.
Well, and also we're reaching a goal of 100,000, and we're going to say, oh, we've done it. And this is a reminder that it is going to continue, and we need to. And I think it helps us to revive ourselves into committing even further. So, yeah.
What you're part of, and what this caravan is supposed to, frankly, generate more of, is a movement.
a movement in Canada that truly parallels the groundswell and the tenacious, sophisticated response to AIDS and the AIDS pandemic at the grassroots of sub-Saharan Africa.
One heart beating,
We've got a family in Canada, and our relationship, we are exporting and importing love, care, and support.
Hi, Regina. Welcome to Montreal.
Thank you for having us.
So you're 68-year-old. How many grandchildren do you have?
So I've got a complicated situation. My own biological children are 3.
And my grandchildren are also 3, ranging between the ages of 21, 4 years old, and 6 months old. But the grandchildren that were infected and affected with AIDS have been those mostly of my relatives that I have always assisted. And currently I'm living with my late brother's daughter, who is HIV herself, and she has got 4 children she's bringing up. We're still waiting to see if the 3-month-old baby she has is also infected, but the last check at 3 months was found to be negative. The reason why I had to stay with them at this stage is that if the mother complicates and she doesn't make it, the children should be used to my way of bringing children up and of my environment, God permitting me that strength and health.
So the grandmothers have taken it upon themselves to try and get this bill passed, C-393, or CAMAR. If the government knows that they're being watched from coast to coast, maybe they'll put a little more attention into the humanitarian side of this bill and have it pass, and then we can perhaps get less expensive drugs to all the people who need them.
Our second leg are 3 brilliant women from Malawi, Menace, Ruth, and Rosemary.
Those songs we are singing, we sing them home when we are comforting each other.
We're so far away from the grandmothers. We're so far away from them, but I'm happy that we understand, or at least a little bit understand of what they're going through, and the little bit that we can do here to help them. I know it's hard to say why we really do this, but I think we just love it.
We love it. Oh, Manas, you'll be talking to other people your age. What message, what story are you going to have for them about being here in Canada and being with the Caravan?
I tell them that I learned so many things, like language. I lost my father, and that time I dropped out of school because of poverty. But now I go back to school because of coastal homes and OAU. OAU, it means Orphan Affairs Unit. This is a group of youth who are vulnerable person and orphan who belongs age of 10 to 18. The main theme of OAU is that to encourage each other on education.
I'm a grandmother, a mother, a father, a grandfather. They say, any problem you face, that's your stepping stone to go forward. And you become strong when you are in problems. So all grandmothers back home, they are very strong nowadays. This grassroots organization, there is council homes back home It is doing wonders.
Coastal Homes, from starting as a community-based organization, it's now a fully registered non-government organization. And from the 120 children that it started with, it's now serving over 30,000 children in 1,200 villages.
We are focusing our mind, we are going forward. Because if we keep on saying, why is it happening? We won't achieve anything. But if we say, what next? We'll have an answer.
Got to try a little kindness, just show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, you'll overlook the blindness.
What was your favorite part of it?
The people, I guess. The people, because I was part of the kinship. I felt like part of the family always.
Overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded street.
Because we're getting older and our body parts are falling apart, we have two people for every position. But it's because we love to be busy, and it's just great to be busy. It keeps our minds going. And so we just say to each other, just give her.
It is the first stop of the last leg of the caravan, and we're so honored to be here in Edmonton, and it is the first stop for Tibile and Tandika.
I was 12 years old when my mother died. I was supposed to take care of my young brothers and sisters.
Can I sing a song? I'm tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the light, lead me home to the light. Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me home. She can continue.
I will fly away within a twinkle of an eye.
I've been greatly affected by the pandemic. I lost two brothers, I've lost cousins, I've lost a sister whom I dearly loved. I've lost grandsons, I've lost daughters, I've lost even my husband. I will fly away. The G8 is saying we are cutting the aid that is going towards Africa, especially on the fight against HIV. So it means more deaths are coming and more orphans are coming.
Highlights, you sometimes hear of donor fatigue, or haven't we been supporting Africa for long enough? And for those of us that are doing this work, and I think you can get a sense of it today, that actually when we talk about turning the tide, that the community-based organizations like SWAPOL are on the cusp of turning the tide, that this is not the time to stop that support. Where they're decreasing the stigma, putting people on treatment, getting people to support each other. There's go-go's that are looking after the orphans are stepping up. They're doing their part. And they're on the cusp of turning back the tide of HIV/AIDS. And if we stop the funding now, which is the trend that you can see in the international community, well then things will start to roll back. All the progress and all the hope that people are experiencing in these communities will start to roll back. And if you think about it, the grandmothers are worried about what happens when they die. Because if the grandchildren have children and they die, there's not that next generation to be that set of grandparents. And so that is where those community-based organizations come in, to be able to offer that protection and support, but also to be able to support those young people to have children without HIV to be able to have education, to be able to provide an income and what have you. And that's why organizations like Swapol are starting to say, how can we support young women like Tendeka?
We have seen a change. We have seen people adhering to treatment. We have seen people getting the knowledge about the HIV. We have seen people saying, I'm so glad I'm able to look after my children, even though that I'm HIV positive. It is my wish that I go back to school and complete my education so that I can enroll as a nurse and help other orphans who are facing the same predicament as I'm facing.
I was so terribly moved by what the grandmother and the young woman had to say.
They have ideas for themselves. What is, the child wants to go to school and be a nurse. And the grandma has all kinds of ideas about what works for her community in her village. And so they have done all this thinking, and all they're asking us is to help out. So it isn't that they're saying, come and give us money and we'll do whatever we want to do. They have ideas, and they are taking the leadership. And so that's why I think it's very important that we work in partnership with the folks who know what they want and what they need.
And this is our 25th year of doing textile art projects for nonprofit groups. And this is the second time that we've chosen to do a project for Stephen Lewis Foundation Grandmothers. And I'm a Glacier grandmother and a North Island quilter. This is a young mom who just treasures her baby as much as we treasure ours. And the odds of that baby making it to go have a normal full life are so much different from the odds of our children surviving. So that's why I did that piece, just to show that the love is there. It's the opportunity that's so different in our lives.
We will not rest. We will not rest. We will not rest. We will not rest till you rest too.
They are now going to reduce donor aid to Africa because it seems as if they are fighting a losing battle. I am saying this is not the time to quit. It means those efforts will be like taking millions and millions and just throwing them in the ocean. We don't want to raise a generation to the graves, but we want to raise an HIV-free generation.
You rest too. In the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, in the morning.
Stay united, because united you win, but divided you fall. Because this is the movement for solidarity. We will turn the tide. We will turn the tide. We will turn the tide with you.
For deep in our hearts, we will believe that we will turn the tide with you.
Kungenxa yakho Jesu, kungenxa yakho Jesu, usimile nje, siyakholwa kungenxa yakho Jesu, kungenxa yakho Jesu, kungenxa yakho Jesu, ingani simile nje, siyakholwa kungenxa yakho Jesu, kungenxa yakho Jesu,
ngenxa yakho Jesu.